Hi guys, today we are making fufu flour. Yes, a combination of plantain and cassava flour. I mean, it's Ghana month and fufu has to make it to the menu. Stay tuned. So let me start by telling you the inspiration behind this recipe or video, okay? My mom visited a while back, and for those of you that do not know, my mom introduced my boys to Kukonte. So when she came around, she told me that, oh, now dear, she doesn't just use the cassava flour to make the kukunte, but she adds fufu flour. So that's the powdered fufu they sell on the market, okay? So after she left, I realized that it's something that the boys really enjoyed. I mean, I didn't try it when she was here, but I realized that every time she made the kukunte with a bit of added fufu flour, it was a nicer texture that was close to the fufu that we usually know. So I got this plantain and cassava, and the plan was to do tintim, okay, the original pounding. But we are a family of just four, and I just didn't want to go through that stress, okay. So I just decided that, okay, so that the cassava and the plantains do not get spoiled quickly, and for convenience sake, I just decided that I will change this or transform the plantain and cassava into flour and then cook it like my mother does and enjoy basically whenever we want to eat fufu. So yeah, another alternative would have been to freeze the cassava and the plantains, okay? But bear in mind that I didn't have any plans of doing tintim anytime soon. So I was just like, okay, let me just transform everything into a powder. And then whenever I'm ready to prepare fufu, I just take a portion of it, mix up with water, cook it, and then we have our fufu, okay? So yeah, that was me peeling the cassava, and then I went on to peel and cut the plantains as well. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for clicking and watching this video. My name is Yasmi. Please consider subscribing and joining this amazing family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much, especially to all 3,000 of you. I'm so grateful to have you. So at this moment, my plantain and cassava are peeled, washed properly, and ready. I'm going to use my food processor to grate all of them. So another alternative is to use the manual one. I don't know if that makes sense to call it that way, but the single grate itself to do that. But this was a whole batch, and Charlie, I didn't have the elbow grease, so I just decided to use my food processor to grate my plantain and cassava. You can as well just use a knife to cut the plantains and cassava into small bits so it's easier to dry. Personally, I find that grating the cassava and plantain makes it easier for them to dry. You can use your oven, you can use a dehydrator. If you're blessed with sunlight, you can use that as well. But first of all, as you can see, I'm spreading my cassava on some parchment paper. I got quite a batch, so I got 2 trays and a half, I think, yeah, of my grated cassava. And then I went ahead to grate my plantain as well. And then I did the same spreading on the parchment paper. So when I finished the greeting, it was in the evening. So I decided to put my cassava and plantains into the oven at 50 degrees Celsius. So I went to bed, okay. And then the following morning, I continued the drying process with the sun. And when it came out, to be honest, the idea was to do plantain flour separately and then cassava flour separately. I was initially going to use my blender, but I was like, nah, I won't do that to my blender. So yeah, I put everything together and headed straight to my local mill. Yes. So the gentleman passed it through the mill about 7 times in order to get a very smooth powder of flour because I didn't want to sieve it after I went to Muki. Yeah, and that was it. When I got to my open day for it to cool down completely before storing it in tightly fitted containers. I hope you try this recipe and enjoy some stress-free fufu. Please give me a thumbs up, a like, leave a comment down below, and then share this video once you're done watching. And let's keep the family going, okay? Until I see you again in another video, keep blooming.